A lot to cover this morning as well. We begin with that extraordinary hearing of the January 6th committee. Cassidy Hutchinson, an aide to Donald Trump's chief of staff, testifying that Trump was enraged, out of control, revealing an allegation that the former president at one point lunged at a Secret Service agent, grabbing the steering wheel of his vehicle when they wouldn't take him to the Capitol.
And according to Hutchinson, Trump was angry at the Secret Service for barring supporters from his speech on January 6th who were carrying weapons. Our senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking all the latest. And Mary, the former president, already pushing back on this testimony. Good morning.
Good morning, Robin. He is the former president, says she is a phony. He is saying he hardly knows her. But Cassidy Hutchinson worked just steps away from the Oval Office. And now at just 26 years old, she's breaking with her former boss, describing in vivid detail what she witnessed on January 6th, describing how the president himself tried to lead the armed mob here to the Capitol to overturn the will of the American voters. Under oath, Cassidy Hutchinson, a top White House aide, painted a chilling picture, detailing how the president wanted to go to the Capitol himself on January 6th, something she said she learned from Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, 4 days before the attack.
He looked at me and said something to the effect of, "Cass, are you excited for the 6th? It's going to be a great day. The president's going to be there. He's going to look powerful."
Confused, she said she went and talked with her boss, Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows.
He didn't look up from his phone and said something to the effect of, "There's a lot going on, Cass, but I don't know. Things might get real bad on January 6th. That evening was the first moment that I remember feeling scared.
Hutchinson says while Meadows acknowledged something was wrong, he did nothing to stop it. Even when on the morning of January 6th, the White House learned that some of Trump's supporters were armed.
I got 3 men walking down the street in fatigue while carrying AR-15, copy at 14th and Independence.
As the president prepared to deliver his remarks, Hutchinson was backstage. She says Trump was angry that more of the crowd wasn't being allowed into the secure area. She said Trump demanded that the Secret Service remove the metal detectors because he wasn't the target.
I overheard the president say something to the effect of, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here.
The president then telling the crowd he would march with them.
We're going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
Something the Secret Service and White House counsel Pat Cipollone insisted Trump could not do.
Mr. Cipollone said something to the effect of, "Please make sure we don't go up to the Capitol, Cassidy. Keep in touch with me. We're going to get charged with every crime imaginable if we make that movement happen."
But she says the president wouldn't hear it. When he finished speaking and got in the motorcade, she says Trump expected to join his supporters. But Hutchinson says lead Secret Service agent Robert Engel refused, saying it wasn't safe. Hutchinson says she saw Engel and Deputy Chief of Staff Tony Ornato shortly after they returned to the White House, describing Engel as looking discombobulated and lost.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president. Take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel, and when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
Hutchinson said it wasn't the first time the president exploded in rage, describing the ketchup she saw dripping down the wall after Trump learned his Attorney General Bill Barr had publicly rejected Trump's false claims of election fraud.
The valet had articulated that the president was extremely angry at the Attorney General's AP interview and had thrown his lunch against the wall.
As Trump's supporters reached the Capitol on January 6th and violently forced their way inside, she says the chief of staff initially did nothing.
I said, "Hey, are you watching the TV, Chief?" He was like, "Yeah." "The rioters are getting really close. Have you talked to the president?" He said, "No, he wants to be alone right now."
Hutchinson said Cipollone finally got Meadows' attention.
Something to the effect of, "Mark, something needs to be done or people are going to die and the blood's going to be on your effing hands."
But she says the president was unmoved, even when told that his supporters were chanting to hang his own vice president, Mike Pence.
Mark had responded something to the effect of, "You heard him, Pat. He thinks Mike deserves it. He doesn't think they're doing anything wrong."
Instead, Trump sent a tweet condemning Pence, writing he didn't have the courage to do what was necessary.
It was unpatriotic. It was un-American. We were watching the Capitol building get defaced over a lie.
Now, Hutchinson also added that in the days after the attack, Mark Meadows was among those seeking a presidential pardon related to January 6th. This morning, we are hearing from some members of Trump's inner circle who are disputing some other portions of Hutchinson's testimony, including one of Trump's former White House lawyers. Now, as for the former president himself, he responded in a flurry of online posts, also calling into question parts of this testimony. Michael, it is clear Donald Trump is paying close attention here.
Absolutely, as expected. Thank you so much, Marion.